Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to SevTech Ages. So, since last episode, look down there. I can barely see the storage building down there. I have started working on this tower, and I have like a base layer built, but it still has a lot of work to do. So it's just kind of a base layer that I've started up there. And I've started actually cutting out like where big windows and balconies and stuff like that'll be. Right now it kind of looks out of place, just kind of sticking up there. But I think once I bring up this section over here, that section over there, because I'm gonna have the castle actually kind of continue up, like the structures, and then coming off of those, there's going to be two additional towers that kind of flank that big massive tower. That massive tower is actually where our house, like bedroom, is going to be, and some other things like that. Up through there. So I'm not exactly sure what all I'm going to put in there, but I know I'm going to put a bedroom up there for sure. So right now it's just kind of base. It's, I'm going to actually put like borders there and borders up along the tower, kind of like framing it in nicely, and hopefully hopefully it'll look nice, and kind of get started on that stuff. But I've basically just laid down a base layer there, up there. And it kind of looks mega massive at the moment. It goes up to 230 Y level, if I recall correctly. We'll pop up there here in just a second. But you can see, like right here, there's going to be like a big floor, and then additional floors up above that. I think that floor is going to be the only one, maybe, that is that tall. But I don't know. I'm still kind of working through it. It does take a little bit, but I did put a dent in it. I got the base layer and got some of it dug out. The very top of this is, Y230. And the reason I'm not going all the way to build height with it is because I'm actually going to do a rune circle at the top at about like 250-ish. So I'll start that, down the road once I get a lot of more of the castle done. So the tower is 27 by 27 diameter. And then if we pop back here, I actually did something because the if you recall, this little structure that's sitting on, it's actually longer than it is deep. And so what I did, and originally I was going to build the tower so it's set up on top there nicely, but I decided to build it off of this. And I'm going to have some pillars that come down from that, kind of supporting it and kind of building it off of that building off the back side there. And I think it's going to look kind of nice once it's done, but it is fairly tall. It's a massive structure, to say the least. So originally I was actually thinking about going with more of like a square tower, or a couple different, I had a couple different designs in mind that I was thinking about doing, but I decided, since the rest of these towers were a bit more rounded in their shape, and with like the style of the castle, the coloring of the castle, I figured a rounder tower, because I feel like square towers almost like give off like an evil look, right? Like normally like the square and more like sharp edges tend to be like evil sorcerer towers or something like that, and that's not really the theme of this build. So I decided to go with a bit more of a rounded tower there, something like big and massive, sticking up right there at the dead center of the castle. So it's very bland looking at the moment. I feel like this, like basically from here down, I think looks all right from a distance, and then like from like right here up is like really bland. That's the sections that I'm kind of working on at the moment. As far as exterior work goes. So anyways, on the topic of the minigun, because I had a few comments about the minigun, about how instant damage doesn't affect zombies and all that, and actually at first I was like, whenever I first got those comments, I was like, oh yeah, that's right, like it doesn't affect them. And I was like, whoops. And but then I got to thinking after that, when I had recorded this video, I'd actually cut for a bit whenever I was messing with the minigun, which I know I edited out the footage, but I cut for a little bit, and I actually tested this on a cow and a creeper, and it didn't work. And after further testing, I found out why. The hitbox detection for the minigun is actually a bit off at the moment, because like, okay, I've got the instant damage 2 right here, and like, look at this. I'm firing directly at the cow. Finally it hits. And so whenever I was testing it, and I mean sometimes it'll go 100, 200 ammo before it'll actually make connection. Sometimes it takes a while. So that was the issue, was whenever I had tested it on the creeper and the cow, like Yeah, there we go. You kind of just have to find like this very, very minute sweet spot before it'll actually make detection. I'm actually getting pretty lucky right now. Sometimes it takes a bit. Here's a creeper. Let's try it on the creeper. Because I want to see, because I did try it on a creeper last episode when I was recording it, but there we go. I managed to get it. Okay. So anyways, I mean, you can see the detection is way off. It takes a little while to get a hit, which I feel like is a bug. I know it didn't used to do that. But I did go ahead and craft up a new potion to put on this. I put Antimatter 3 on there. So this right here, it just basically requires, I had Rotten Anti-Flesh, but you can use Anti-Plague Flesh or Anti-Plague Flesh on a bone for it as well. And it actually comes out to be better because the nice thing is, like with Antimatter, it's 3 minutes of Antimatter instead of like the instant damage where I'm trying to like manage to get a hit off and it keeps missing for a long time and then I finally get a hit and it does like a little bit of damage. Antimatter is a little bit more powerful. So we'll try it on the spider, for example. All I have to do is get one hit. And if I can find the sweet spot, there we go. And you can see the antimatter ticks it really hard until it dies. It does turn it into an anti-spider, but in terms of the Ender Dragon, I think it's going to be better for that. So, and it does affect undead. So, but yeah, instant damage does not affect undead, but to be fair, I did test it on a creeper and a cow during that episode. It wouldn't hit them, but then I found out it's really rough getting the detection to lock on. Sometimes you'll get lucky, and then sometimes, I know earlier I tried to shoot a buffalo, and it took forever. It took forever to get a hit off on a buffalo. It was actually pretty rough. So it just kind of all comes down to luck, and I almost think there's a sweet spot, but at the same time, sometimes it feels like it doesn't matter where I shoot. It'll randomly, because it does kind of randomly, it feels like it kind of randomly spreads. So I don't know. I think it kind of comes down to a mix of luck and maybe where you're aiming or something. Anyways, let me charge up the minigun. I do feel like the antimatter is going to be better for us, though. It's a bit better of an effect, because I mean, if I make a hit on it, that's 3 minutes that it's going to be ticking, and antimatter hits hard. That's like the one thing that can kill me at the moment is antimatter. Like, it's dangerous. It's very, very dangerous. So let me repair this actually. Okay, and then next up, I mentioned that I wanted to do the Sentient Bow and get that upgraded. So I did get us a Grand Tartaric gem that has Destructive Will in it. And this chunk is filled with Destructive Will that's pumping in right there. Destructive Will is generally the highest damage. I know it's a bit higher damage on the sword, and I think it does higher damage than the others on the bow as well, I do believe. I know the only will type that's special on the bow is Vengeful. Yeah, Vengeful. That's the speed one. It increases, instead of increasing damage, it increases arrow velocity. So, but we're going to go with the Destructive Will Grand Tartaric gem. And then what we can do is we can take our Sentient Bow and just kind of pull it back. And you'll notice that it changes colors to match like that Destructive Will color. So instead of being blue, it's now orange, and it has a damage increase. So that's basically all there is to it. Just you craft this with whatever wheel type you want to use. Now I know the corrosive on the sword, it does poison. I don't believe it does poison on the bow though. I think you actually have to craft poison arrows, to apply poison, but it does increase damage on the bow. So anyways, there's that. And then one other thing, I want to get the Pneumatic Helmet before we head out. And that's just to make our lives a little bit easier in some situations. I know for combat I'm still going to be wearing this helmet, but I do want to go ahead and make the Pneumatic Helmet. So this requires 4 air canisters and a printed circuit board. Okay, let me get that stuff together just really, really quick. Okay, so there's our Pneumatic Helmet. There we go. And we have to go charge this thing up. It does require a charge to work. So let's go ahead, do that, get that thing charged up. And I'm not for sure what the pressure max on this is. Is it 10 bars or is it 20 bars? 10 bars, okay. Okay. And then if we put this thing on, there we go. We're going to have a HUD that starts loading up. This is basically, it even says on here, it gives you like Iron Man like tools on your screen. So right now you can see there's not really much that's added on here. It doesn't really do much of anything, but, and it actually looks really cool. Like, look at that. I remember it used to just be like it almost looked like an iron helmet, and the like little eyepiece is like new, or newer. I remember when it was added, I believe. I remember it being added, but I still remember when it was actually just like an iron helmet there. But what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to apply upgrades to this. Okay, so if we want to check the upgrades that are available for this, we can just put this into our charging station, and then we can open up the inventory, and you can see there's Entity Tracker, Block Tracker, Item Search Upgrade, and Coordinate Tracker Upgrade. Now, the only one of these four that I'm not going to use, I don't think, is the Coordinate Tracker Upgrade. It's really good if you don't have a map and you can't set waypoints. It does have some nice features that, you know, Journey Map doesn't have, and that is the fact that you can actually use it, and say you're underground in a cave, and you use the coordinate tracker to get you home. It's going to show you like the quickest way back up through the cave, kind of like caving rope would or something. Well, not exactly caving rope, because that basically shows you the way back, you know, that you came. But I remember there was it was a Thaumcraft. It was one of the Thaumcraft add-ons that had a red. It was not a red string, but some kind of gilded string that you could use to find the quickest way out of a dungeon, or underground, I mean. And it's kind of similar to that, basically. But anyways, let's go ahead and grab this. We're going to go get ourselves a Entity Tracker upgrade, which is just like that, a Block Tracker upgrade, and an Item Search. Okay, so I've got everything together for our our three upgrades. There we go: Entity Tracker, Block Tracker, and Item Search. And then what we'll do is we'll just take and put our Pneumatic Helmet back in here, open up the inventory, and we're going to drop in our three upgrades. And there we go. Okay, so, and I believe, if I recall, you can actually add additional ones of these upgrades. I think by default, the block tracker's 30 blocks. Yeah, range of 30 blocks, which you can upgrade it. I know used to you did range upgrades, if I recall. But now, range upgrades, it doesn't show them being available for the Pneumatic Helmet. And I also know you used to put insecurity upgrades into it as well, I recall. For doing hacking, but those aren't put into the helmet anymore either. So, but I know these three upgrades, these are like the key ones. These are like your your go-to bits. Alright, so we're going to equip this thing now, and we're going to give it a second to initialize. Helmet found, Block Tracker found, Entity Tracker found, Item Search was found, Coordinate Tracker was not installed, and Drone Debugger was not installed. We will do Drone Debugger probably a bit later. But anyways, there is an option in the controls for the Pneumatic Helmet. So right here, Pneumatic Helmet options. There's also hacking and debugging. The drone debugging, but we're not using either of those at the moment. So the Pneumatic Helmet options, let's go ahead and let's open this up. And I'm going to, right here you can do some nice little things like the pressure stat screen. You can move this around. If you want to. I'm going to leave it up at the top left. That'll be fine. But you'll notice right here we have a tab for Block Tracker, Entity Tracker, and Item Search. So right here, let's go to Item Search, and let's say search for an item. And right here, we're going to say that we want to look for iron. Okay, so let's look for iron ingots. We're going to select that as our target. Okay, so right now we're looking for iron. Let's go ahead and say Enable Item Search Upgrade. And then let's pop up to the Block Tracker, and we're going to say Enable Block Tracker, and we're going to be searching for inventories. Okay. Oh, I forgot to hit Enable Helmet. My bad. So let's turn that on, and there we go. Okay, so it's currently searching for iron ingots, and if you look at the top right, it's found 15,420, and it's bouncing back and forth. But and you can see the helmet pressure up there, and it says current tracked blocks, 231 inventories around here that it's found. Okay, and you can see it's kind of blinking, and it's going to show us where available inventories are. And it registers like the top of this crusher as an inventory. It registers that as an inventory, that. So, I mean, a lot of nodes and stuff are being registered, but there's a lot of different options there. But if you notice that the iron right there, it's kind of like glowing green. And that's because it's located iron within that inventory. So it's going to detect inventories around us and find where iron's at, which is kind of nice. Of course, that's in a drawer, but let's say, for example, we pop over to here. And I'm sitting around in the base. Let me call the elevator here. It's finding like all kinds of inventories here. Let's go up to the sorting floor, because this place is a little bit more of a mess. If I come over here and Oh, it's lagging so bad. Okay. Sometimes it will with this many inventories around, because you can see it's right now it's reading from 502 inventories. It's not finding any iron ingots because there's no iron around here. But for example, this is a really nice feature. If I look at this chest, right, you can see there is all the contents of that chest, and we can just kind of look through it there, which is kind of nice. Let me actually see. I'm going to move the stat screen. Block tracker, move stat screen. Let's go ahead and move this over to, what about right there, I think. So then if I open this up, if you notice there on the left, I can just kind of read through it without having to actually open up the chest. Now in some cases, like with these chests, these obsidian chests that have a ton of storage, we get like a huge lag spike when we go to look at that. I'm actually not planning on using this around the storage building. I'm planning on using it in the end, and I'll show you why. But we can kind of just scroll through that. Oh, I've got to get that off of there. It's so much lag. Okay, there we go. But anyways, it's kind of nice. It's really rough in a storage building like this with this many inventories. But it's still really, really useful. Let's go ahead and turn off the block tracker. Let's turn off... oh, actually, I'll tell you what. We'll enable block tracker. I'm just going to turn off the helmet itself. We'll just power that down. Okay, and let's go ahead and switch helmets for just a minute. And we'll get into that a little bit more once we're away from the base, once we're actually at the end, I do believe. Okay, so anyways, before we head to the end, there's a couple things that I want to craft. Just really, really quick. If we open up our, if I can remember the button, because it's different on Exoria for like the quest log. I want to make these two things right here, the reusable eye and the Reincarnation Crystals. Those are kind of important that we go ahead and make those. So the reusable Ender Eye, we'll start with that. This thing requires a block of iron and 8 eyes of Ender, but it is a reusable Eye of Ender, basically. So let's go ahead and get this thing made up. So that, and there we go, our solid Ender Eye. Alright, and advancement made. And then also the Reincarnation Crystals. These are actually cheaper in this pack. The end crystals are, because normally they require nether stars, and I was ready to use nether stars on these, but they don't in this pack. They require eyes of Ender and gas tears with a little bit of glass. So we'll go ahead and get the stuff to make one set of these, because I know the Ender Dragon is dead. I know for a fact it's been killed. Alright, so 4 end crystals, there we go, and we might get the reincarnation. Or maybe we actually have to reincarnate the dragon before it's going to give it to us. I don't know. Yeah, I think maybe we have to reincarnate it. That's fine. It doesn't lead to any more quests, so that's not a problem. And then the rest of this stuff, we have to actually get into the end and start doing a bit of mining before we can get the rest of that stuff. But there is one other thing that I would like to make, I guess. Maybe. There's, from Cyclic, there's an Ender Orb. It's a reusable Ender Pearl. It does take a little bit of durability damage, but I believe you can put mending on this. Yeah, okay. So we'll just put mending on it. So it's going to require 4 Eyes of Ender, and then 4 bits of redstone as well. And there we go. There's our Ender Orb, which is going to be useful for basically going through those little portals in the end. It'll be quite useful. Okay, and now we are ready to do this. So we have to go find ourselves a stronghold. Let's go ahead. We're going to use our solid Ender Eye. And we'll just toss this out. And it does take a little bit of durability damage, as you can see. But that's not really a problem. So we have an Ender Stronghold off in this direction somewhere. Alright, so give me just a minute while I follow this and figure out where we're supposed to be going. And then I'll be back here in just a minute. Okay, so the Ender Eye is showing that right in here we're going to have a stronghold. So I'm going to go ahead and dig down and see if we can find one. Oh, well, there we go. Okay, I'm not finding any. Well, I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and throw on our Pneumatic Helmet. And we're going to load this thing up. And let's say, block tracker, we want to find an end portal, inventories, monster spawners, all that stuff. And we'll go ahead and enable the helmet. And, okay, it's not tracking any blocks at the moment. Okay, it's found some inventory somewhere, right off in that direction. Let's see if we can head on over there. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and turn off the item search, because I'm not really looking for any items at the moment. Okay, it says there's a chest over here, so there's some kind of a dungeon. Chances are probably a stronghold. Yeah, it's looking like a stronghold on the map. There we go. Okay. And let me go ahead and get our sigil of holding, because this helmet, I haven't put night vision on it yet. Yep, there's the stronghold. So it kind of helps if you're a little bit off finding that. It does help you find it a little bit. And then we're still looking for the end portal. Hopefully it's going to detect it here in a minute. Let's head down to this chest. Kind of curious if there's any items that drop here. No, there's no items. Okay. Good to know. Because it doesn't look like this place has been explored yet. But if we at least get kind of close to the portal, it should detect it. And really, I didn't have to go all the way to the chest, because I can actually just hover over it and see that it's empty. So, that is an option as well. But I have found the end portal. It says 10 end portals and a monster spawner are off in this direction. So, right over here. It does help so much with navigating these. It really, really does. Okay, so there's our monster spawner. Let's go ahead and just pull that up. And there is our end portal. Now, I did forget to bring... I don't think we can use these, can we? No, I didn't think so. I did forget to bring our Eyes of Ender. So I'm going to go ahead and just mark right here. We'll say end portal. There is one on the server that's already opened up, but I'm going to go ahead. This one's closest, so this will be fine. Oh no, turn off the helmet now. Turn it off. Let's disable helmet. And let's go ahead and remove the inventories, the end portal, monster spawner, all that stuff too. Alright, so we're back over here. I'm going to put away the solid ender eye, because we don't actually need that anymore. And yeah, we needed 11 of these, so that's perfect. And we'll go ahead and just slot these. And there we go, an end portal. That looks so trippy now whenever you look at it. Yeah, that's so trippy to look at now. They've changed it in 1.12. They also made it so the end portals make like sounds when you're placing them, but that is... Ugh, okay, that's going to give me motion sickness. Okay, so let's go ahead and pop on in. And we should get a quest complete for entering the end as soon as we enter here. We should. It's done, and there we go. We have reached the goal. Enter the end. And, okay, we're still spawning in. There we go. Goal reached. Oh, man. Okay. And if we take a look here, they want us to find... defeat the dragon and mine the biotite in the end to use in Ender alloy creation. And then we have to locate the materials for the presses. Enhanced Ender alloy is... We have to locate chorus. Chorus fruit. Oh, and there's a quest here to get the compressor machine for Galacticraft. That's actually heading into the end of this age right there. Through the Galacticraft stuff. So, okay, but the Ender Dragon has already been killed, but we're going to resurrect him first thing and fight him. So, just because we can. Alright, so right over here is the portal. We're going to take our end crystals, place one there, one there, one there, and one right there. And, yeah, okay, it's activating. And we'll give it just a second. And there's our dragon. Or, well, he's resurrecting the little crystals first. So we'll just pop right up here. This will be a good enough vantage point. And, oh yeah, those little chain bars come back, don't they? Well, that's fine. I can never have too many iron bars. Let's go ahead and just mine those. And mine those. And advancement made. Reincarnation. Alright. Let's do this. Let us do battle. Epic battles. That one totally missed. Okay. Ha! What is that like? Is that a nether portal down there? Alright. I'll just take them. I take the damage from them. I don't care. And one right there and one right over there. Okay. So that's all of those. Let's launch up the minigun. Oh, well, wait, there you go. Take that damage, dragon. I don't know where it's shooting at. Like, it's very, very bizarre the way that it's shooting at the moment. I don't know if this is actually going to work on him or not. Are you going to take damage from that? Come on. Maybe it's too far, I don't know. Okay. Alright, well, we're just going to do battle with the sentient bow then. Kind of sad the minigun hasn't worked out for me as well. Yeah, that was a total miss. There we go. Thing actually does a decent amount of damage, I gotta say. It's that destructive wheel, plus it's like Grand Tartaric, so it's like loaded up with damage. And then being able to just like kind of hover behind him here. Whoops, not what I meant to go. Just knock him back there. Oh, whoops. I feel like I'm getting a little bit of lag during this fight, but that's okay. It's not too bad. And I don't know if he actually has any like special drops or any reason that we'd want to farm him. But we're about to find out. This is so easy, just kind of like hovering behind him with the bow. Like, considering some of the bosses, like the Ghast boss and stuff, like this boss is a joke at this point. Alright, nope, nope. Nope, nope. There we go. Okay, we should get, and if nothing else, we'll get a bunch of XP. Dragon Scales from Mystical Aggreditions. A Sweeping Edge, Arcane Scroll, Epic Shader Grab Bag. Let's go ahead and turn on a magnet, see if we get anything. It almost seems like we're not even going to get any XP from that. Oh wait, there's the XP. Maybe? Maybe so? I don't know. But anyways, these Dragon Scales, what can we use these? Probably nothing until the next stage, I imagine. Okay, so I'm just going to put this stuff away. Hopefully it doesn't vanish from my backpack. And I guess I'm just going to put the minigun up, because I'm not having any luck hitting anything with it. Which is kind of a bummer. And let's see. Let's take a look at what all we need for the presses while we're here. I know we need Ender Biotite and Purple Blocks. We also need... Yeah, there's Purple Blocks. We're going to need Pearl Blocks from Shulker Pearls. You get 32, though, at a time. And then we need a block of Biotite. Okay, Biotite's easy enough. We just have to pop over here, and Biotite spawns all over this place. And so we'll go ahead and snag that up. And how much of this do I want to get? Since I'm already over here, let's go ahead. By the way, do these Endermen drop... they drop Ender Dust too, okay. Never mind. I was kind of wondering if they would drop actual Ender Pearls or if they still drop the Ender Dust or how that worked. But and so I think at this point we've pretty much killed like all the bosses except for the Galacticraft ones, right? Like that's the main ones that come to mind that we haven't killed yet. Okay, so my inventory's starting to get full. Let's go ahead and pull out our super backpack, which will be this obsidian chest. We'll just dump everything into that, and then I'll grab it with the empty sack of holding. And there we go. That's kind of like my backpack for big excavation journeys, like big trips. And going to the end is definitely a big trip. Alright, so there we go. Oh, wait. Let me actually grab some endstone because I don't guess we have a whole lot of it. Technically we can make it with Astral Sorcery, but if you look at my hunger, as I excavate, I automatically eat. So I can literally sit here and excavate indefinitely if I want to. Yeah, there's a ton of endstone. Let's go ahead and just dump that stuff in there. Oh, and here's eroded endstone from Primal Core. Let's go ahead and grab a bit of that as well. Since we're down here, and a little bit more Biotite. Okay, I think we're probably good on Biotite for the time being. I mean, that's a lot of Biotite. And what all needs do we have for that at the moment? Ender Chests. Elite Crafting Table takes it, which is no biggie. Arc Furnace to make the basic Ender Alloy. And then I believe block of Biotite we use to make a press. And then a couple things in here, nothing too major. By the way, I got to thinking, we really need to start modular routers before long as well. That would be kind of nice. And there's also, of course, if we need obsidian, there's a great place to get obsidian, but I have, at present, I've got about 100 stacks of obsidian, so I definitely don't need obsidian at the moment. And then what are these things made out of? Out of curiosity. Oh, hornblende. Okay, well, I don't need hornblende. Alright, so we're just going to pop over... I guess we'll go off in this direction, maybe. I mean, somebody has been there, but I think it'll be alright. So, yeah, we'll just pop through this portal. We'll throw our ender pearl in there. There we go. And I see plenty of chorus fruit. Let's go ahead and grab a bit of this. For starters. Oh, man, I'm grabbing chorus at the moment. We'll just pop right up to the top of this and grab our chorus fruit. And really, we can replant this inside of Cloche and grow all that we need. Like, all of everything that we need. I don't think there's any use directly... No, not for the chorus flower. We are going to need the chorus fruit to make enhanced ender alloy, popped chorus fruit to make crystallized chorus chunks. I can't remember. What does it take to make the purple block? Apparently it's not craftable in this pack. Apparently you just have to explore, because it does spawn inside those towers. I guess you actually have to just go get it in this pack. Normally you can craft it with chorus fruit, but I guess that's not the case. Okay, so the main thing that we're looking for at this point really is the, let's see, the towers, because we're going to need shulker pearls and purple blocks. And then I also need to get an ender dragon head and some stuff like that, so. And you know what I just realized? I did not mark the, I think this is spawn. Yeah, it looks to be spawn. So we'll go ahead and mark it as home. There we go. So we are, at present, we are about 3,000 blocks from spawn. There's actually an ender portal right there. Okay. And one that looks like somebody's been to, because there's like cobblestone and stuff. Okay, so I'm still off looking. Hey, there's a boat. There is a boat up here. And unless somebody had flight, they did not explore it. So there's a shulker. There we go. Ah, shulker pearl. And of course it gets me. Alright, well, best thing to do is just go to one of these. Doesn't really matter because I'm immune to fall damage and everything. But now we can put on our pneumatic helmet and we can actually start scanning for shulkers, which will be useful. Let me see if I can snag this ender dragon head. I do want that. And the purple blocks. I'm going to mine these in just a second whenever we come back up. I guess, yeah, let's go ahead and switch the pneumatic helmet. And we're going to say, we're not going to enable block tracker. I don't actually need that right this second. It's going to be good for mining, though, because I can search for specific ore types. That's the main thing I want the block tracker for. But entity tracker, let's go ahead and we're going to say, I think I can just do it like that, if I recall. Let me check. Yeah, that should work. And we'll say enable entity tracker. And if we give it... oh, let me turn on the actual helmet, too. There we go. And it's detecting shulkers. Yeah, see, there's a target right there. There's a shulker right there. At 100% health. There's another one right over there. I don't really need those. Mob is targeting you. Okay. So, let's go ahead. Let's have some fun. Flamethrower time. And, oh, wait. Where'd you go? There we go. It's really good for shulkers since they teleport. And actually, I should finish things off with this because we have, like, looting 800 million. Man, these chests just don't have anything in them. But there's an elytra. We'll go ahead and grab that. End rods. They are not craftable. Cool. That's a bummer. And it looks like iron rods require end rods. Awesome. Okay. I kind of wish that those were still craftable, you know? There we go. And I'm going to have to get quite a few of these shulker pearls. What all do we need these for? 32 pearl blocks, though, per craft. Monolith of experience, monolith of spawning. Some of those are kind of nice. There's a controller that we're going to need to make. Really, we could make the controller. Iron, soda quartz through an arc furnace, a little bit of silicon, machine casing is quartz enriched iron, shulker pearl. Not really a problem. So technically we could make that right now. Okay, so that's pretty much everything I need up here, I guess. Let me go ahead and mine up some of these purple blocks. So we'll just step over here, I guess. Okay, so there's a bunch of those. A decent amount of them anyways. We'll go ahead, Magma Cream Varus, there we go. Let's go ahead and grab that. We're still on the lookout for shulkers. Of course, a lot of shulkers tend to spawn up around these buildings, of course. There we go. Look at all those targets. Right down there. Let us go hunting. And I'm sure these chests don't have anything in them. Nope. Of course not. Okay. I kind of think having like flight and like super jump and all these things makes these dungeons like super easy. Okay, so we're up to what, 6 shulker pearls, or do I have some more on me? I can't remember. Let's see. Okay, I've got 9 of them. So technically I could leave. I've got enough to make the controller and everything, but since we're here, I'm going to go ahead and kill just a couple more shulkers at least. Okay, so I've got 11 shulker pearls there, and then I've got some inside of the the chest as well. So I think we should be good on those. Honestly, let me go ahead and see. We've got 21 altogether. I think that's good, and honestly, I think that's about everything that we need in the end. I mean, I do want more dragon heads, but I can come back and get those off camera. It's not a major deal. Let me go ahead and actually power down this helmet real quick. I'm going to go ahead and order some more stabilized metal, too. Just because we can. Wait a second. Why are you... There we go. And then let's go ahead. Does this work here? No. It seems like, and I've noticed that in the other dimensions too, it doesn't seem to want to work within other dimensions. The teleposition doesn't. And now I just have to get back over to the spawn point, which really isn't going to take that long because we're traveling at a decent rate. Hopefully I'm not lagging the server too much. Kendrick is online right now, so hopefully it's not lagging too bad. If it is, I'm sorry. I'll be out in just a second. But really, I don't think there's anything left in the end for us to do at the moment, because we've got all the resources that we need, I guess, to push forward with the presses and stuff. The dragon doesn't drop anything useful, at least for this age. Maybe in the next age, but I think at present we're good. Okay, so back at spawn. That didn't take very long at all, actually. And we'll just go ahead and pop through. And there we go. I'm actually glad there used to be a bug, and it was around like the 1.10 period where whenever you went through the end portal, you lost all your XP. So I'm glad that didn't happen, actually. Because I really don't want to lose all my XP at the moment. How did I get that? Huh. Either the dragon drops an end crystal or something. I don't know. Because we got an extra one. But, okay. We'll go with it. Okay, now really quick, something I want to do is, let me go ahead and grab 2 of our teleposers. Just really quick, because I know inevitably I'm going to want to go back to the end, and so I want to make it just a little bit easier for us. So what we're going to do, I forgot to grab an ender pearl. 1 second here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our ender pearl and just throw it in here. We're going to get a teleposer, and we're going to leave it in there for just a minute so that it turns into the next tier, which is the enhanced teleposition focus. Because basically the standard teleposer that we use like for our portals, it moves 1 block, basically. If we stand directly on the teleposer, we click the button, it's going to move us. The enhanced teleposition focus does a 3x3, and we're going to take it 1 step further. We're going to add a weak blood shard to it and get a reinforced teleposition focus. This moves a 5x5. There's also the demonic one, which requires a demon blood shard, which isn't available in this pack, which that one moves a 7x7. So now that we've got that, let's pop over to the portal area. This is pretty quick and simple, but it's going to be really nice for any additional times that we'll want to go back to the end. We're going to take our teleposer, and we're just going to set this down right here in the middle, take our reinforced teleposition focus, and just shift right click to mark it. And then let's go ahead and put a weirding gadget down just to make sure that this area stays loaded. Let me actually set it right here. Okay. And so then all we need to do is head over to the end portal. About 800 blocks. Not too bad, but after this we won't have to go 800 blocks. Now technically I could just put a teleposer over there so that we could just, you know, warp over there. But I'd rather not do that. I'd rather just have it in our portal area. Plus, it kind of makes sense to have a portal to the end in our portal area. So we'll just pop down there. Okay, I'm going to land directly on a portal. Okay, perfect. Perfect. And I did not bring any blocks. That's fine. I'll just snag some of these. And what we're going to do, let's place down a couple blocks here. Let's just bring this out. And we're going to put our teleposer block setting right there in the middle. And then we'll put a lever on the side of it. Pop in our reinforced teleposition focus and apply our redstone signal. And pew, it's gone. Okay, and that's all there is to it. That is actually all that there is to it. So now if we warp back over, and let's pop down here. Actually, I meant to pop over to the portal area. Alright, and if we pop over here, oh, it does a 5x5x5, so it brought those blocks with it. But look at that, we now have our very own end portal over here. And let me go ahead and just clean these blocks up real quick. And I may end up moving this like up onto a platform or something when I come over here to build, but for right now this will be fine. And if I want to remove our teleposer block, which I kind of do, we'll just have to pop underneath here and pull it up. And it looks like it actually went into the portal, I think. Okay, that's fine. Let me pop through and let me go grab it real quick. But anyways, now we have an end portal right here, and we can teleport directly to the end from our portal area without having to do, you know, like a, I don't know, a special kind of portal or anything like that. We can just warp through right there. And there's our teleposer. Okay, perfect. Perfect. And so now we have an end portal. Just kind of for fun. I just kind of want to do that real quick since we're going to the end and doing end stuff today. That's another reason why I kind of didn't want to go to the server portal, because I want a portal, you know, I wanted to find a portal that was new that I could move to our portal area. Okay, and I went ahead and added a cloche over here in our cloche area that has the chorus flowers, and it's growing chorus fruit. So let's go ahead and just grab some of that, and we'll just connect this up real quick. And we'll have, basically we're going to have endless chorus fruit now. So that'll be available to us. And then all we have to do is just drop it into a storage drawer. And of course, these all stop running whenever they fill up. So we'll just put it, that one's got a void in it. Let's just put it right, actually right here will be good because these aren't being voided. So chorus fruit goes there, and it's going to start building up on chorus fruit. And I might as well go ahead and grab that chorus fruit and just dump it into there as well. And I want to say there's a chance, I was thinking there was a chance that you could get chorus flowers, but maybe not. I know there's some kind of automation for it. Some kind of machine. It might be thermal expansions, phytogenic, that has a chance to produce the chorus flowers. I can't remember, but I'll keep an eye on it. I mean, if it produces chorus flowers, I'll add a slot through there. If it does, I know it's a low chance, whatever system did. Okay, so anyways, we've got a bit of time left in this episode, so I want to go ahead and get into some of this stuff. The presses, the ender alloys, maybe start, namely I want to start working towards refined storage, I think. So let's actually go ahead and take a look at the Inscriber. The Inscriber in this pack is standard. Okay. Fluix crystal, sticky piston. Oh yeah, I should switch helmets. I was using that earlier because I was looking for my cloches, but then I discovered they're right here. Okay, so we're going to grab some pistons. Let's go ahead and get ourselves a piece of charged Certus, redstone, glowstone, and then, oh yeah, we're going to need iron. Well, that's over in the other building. And let's get a couple slime balls. And sadly, the one, like, what I really want for refined storage, we're not going to have access to, so we're not going to have everything plugged up with refined storage, but we will get some of it plugged up, so that we have it available just to make crafting and stuff like that a little bit easier. Let's pop right over here, and we'll take our charged Certus, throw it in the water, glowstone, redstone. I'm sorry, it's not glowstone, it's nether quartz. Oh, I'm losing my mind. I'm losing my mind. It's been a long week. That's my excuse. It actually has been a long week, but I still shouldn't forget how to make fluix, to be fair. I shouldn't forget that. But anyways, we're going to drop in the redstone, the charged stardust, the nether quartz, right into the water there. We're just going to give it a second, and there we go. There is our fluix crystals. And then let's pop over. Let's go grab ourselves a couple pieces of iron. Let me dump this stuff into there. And we'll go ahead and craft out our inscriber. Inscribing advancement. And then there is two different directions we can take. We can take the applied energistics or the refined storage. Now, first up, we're going to take the refined storage. We will probably do a small, subsystem at some point for applied energistics. But this pack's in-game, like H5 stuff, is really gauged towards refined storage, not so much applied energistics. So, let's take a look. They want us to make I believe it's a crafting grid, right? Or just a storage grid. Okay. Well, anyways, let's take a look at the grid. Standard grid, we need a formation core and an annihilation core. I think really all we need for that is logic processors. Yeah. Okay. And these are standard. Yes, they are. Silicon and gold. Okay, so let me grab a bit of gold. This doesn't have 82 stuff in it, does it? No, it doesn't. At least not in H4. I don't think it has 82 stuff. No. That's like a... That honestly kind of kills AE2 right there, in truth. Okay, but we're going to have to make the presses. And to do that, we are going to need to get... we're going to go ahead and make all three presses. So we're going to need a purple block, which we've got. We're also going to need a pearl block, which is just in stone surrounded by shulker pearls. And then we're also going to need a block of biotite. And luckily, none of those require the metal press. So we'll go ahead and get 4 pieces of that, piece of endstone, and 8 pearls, and a purple block. Okay, so there we go. Block of biotite, and pearl blocks. And I tell you what, I actually only need 1 of these pearl blocks, so we'll just put the rest of these away. And to actually turn these into that, we need the drill program. Okay. So let's pop over to our pneumatic system. That thing's just chugging away. It's funny because we have so many blank slates, like 500 stacks nearly of blank slates at the moment. It's pretty insane. Plus we have like a few hundred stacks of stone. And okay, so there's our drill program. And we're just going to drop all 3 of these into there. And here we go. Go, go, go. There we go. I love watching this thing run. How many speed upgrades do I have in this? 4. Okay. I could actually probably... Oh, I don't have them on me. I was going to say, I could probably get away with like a couple more at this point, but that's fine. And there is our very first press. And then we just have to rinse and repeat 2 more times. Okay, so engineering, logic, silicon, we'll go ahead and grab those. And there is hold the presses. Awesome. Okay, so that little quest is done. And let's pop back over here. And this stuff is actually going to go up on the 4th floor. Our very first 4th floor stuff is going to be like the Inscriber and all that fun stuff. So we're just going to set the Inscriber up like right... I guess we'll put it right here. Like right now we don't have the best power transfer system, so I'm actually going to set up an on-site power transfer for right now, and then we'll change it a little bit later on. So we'll put the Inscriber down right there, I guess. Actually, we're going to set it like that, so it's facing up at the moment. Yeah, that's what I want to do. And then what we're going to do is... see, I'm actually tempted to make a second one of these, in truth. Because if we take a look at refined storage, I think the only press that we really need for refined storage is going to be logics. Because like these all take logic. The crafting grid requires this stuff. Oh yeah, we're going to need engineering processors. Okay, well, alright. So I won't do that then. I'm just going to do one for right now, and then we'll automate it a little bit later. Okay, so what we're going to do, this is going to be a really quick, easy, dirty setup for the Inscriber. But we're going to put a wooden hopper setting right there, wooden hopper setting right there. And this is laid out like this, so that would be top, side, bottom, and then of course front. And then we'll put a wooden hopper setting right there. We'll make this a little bit more elaborate later, but this will be fine for right now. Then we'll put our chest setting right there. And then we're going to put down an omnidirectional hopper setting right there. And let's rotate this. And we're going to have it facing down into the inscriber and pointing up. And then we'll just put a chest right up here. Okay. And then what we'll do is we'll take and set in, like for example, the silicon press. We'll just go ahead and just open this up, place down the silicone press right there. And then I'm going to have to apply power to this. And so what I'm going to make, since I have to do a little bit of on-site power for right this second, we're just going to make a, and they're actually pretty powerful too, the simple combustion generator. They're really, really cheap. 3 iron, block of redstone furnace, and then 4 pieces of stone. And they generate 80 RF per tick. And the nice thing is they do use solid fuel. But with these generators, whenever they run out of like having a need for solid fuel, so like the RF storage is built up, they actually stop consuming the solid fuel until they need power generation again. So they're really, really efficient with solid fuel. I mean, a block of coal doesn't last all that long, but 80 RF a tick, it's really not that bad. We're just going to be using charcoal through it for right now because we can. Okay, so there is our simple combustion generator. And let me go ahead and get the stuff to make a precise filter. And let me grab an output node. And we'll go ahead and grab our input connection from here. And then we'll just connect it up. We'll set up our simple combustion generator and start pumping charcoal into it. So we'll put it right here. It's going to power our inscriber for us. And then, of course, I am going to have a little bit of an issue accessing that. Okay, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to move all this. And we're going to have it setting 1 block higher. This, like I said, this is just a very temporary setup. This is going to change here fairly soon. But for right now, because I'm kind of just in a rush to get the RS system up at the moment. And then we will, we'll probably automate this maybe in the next couple episodes. Whenever we get around to it, so. Okay, so there we go. We're going to say that, we're going to put our node right here. We're going to say that the south side is going to have a precise item filter. Only charcoal can go in there. We'll go ahead and throw this piece into there. It makes 80 RF per tick. It's going to go into the inscriber. Then we'll just go ahead and connect that up so that this starts filling up with charcoal. There we go. And it has energy. And now if we were to take and we were to throw in 10 gold into this, it's going to get pushed out into the inscriber, and it's going to start making, very, very slowly, it's going to start making our, oh, you know what? I didn't put the logic press back in there. Okay, so there we go. It's going to start slowly making gold, logic presses for us. What does it take to make, can I make the speed upgrades? Wow, we can't make speed upgrades in age 4. So we're probably going to want to automate that pretty quickly. Which is fine. I think mainly, what all uses do I even have for the engineering presses at the moment? Engineering processors. Security card. Crafting grid. Network card. The fuel loader. The stage 5 pattern grids and stuff like that. The NASA workbench takes one. Yeah, I don't know that I'd really need those automated right now. I don't know about age 5, but I think mainly the logic processors would be the main thing. And I don't even know if I'm going to wait and see and just play it by ear, because right now it doesn't even feel like we're going to be using that many logic processors. But I don't know, I kind of think semi-automated would probably be fine as well. Okay, so the logic processors is done. Let's go ahead and switch this to the silicon. And we'll just pop in our 10 silicon, and there we go. So remember, this is setting, like this would be the front. So you extract out the front. This is top slot, side slot, bottom slot right there. I mean, there's other ways we could automate it, but this is fine for the time being. Why is that not pulling out printed silicon, strangely enough? And now it's pulling them out. Once it hit 10, it started pulling all of them out. Quite bizarre. Okay, well anyways, we'll go ahead and pull out the silicon press. Because we're done with that for right this second. I'm going to make 10 logic. I think that'll be good for right now. Okay, so top slot, printed logic, side slot, redstone, bottom slot, printed silicon, pump those in, and now it's going to start making logic processors for us. I guess it just builds them up until it's done, then it pushes all of them out. Interesting. Anyhow, now that that's up, let's go ahead and make ourselves our controller. This is going to take quartz enriched iron, is the main thing that's going to take. And this stuff is just 3 iron, and Certus quartz makes 4 quartz enriched iron. And I'm going to go ahead and make a bunch of this because we're going to need a bunch of it as we go. So I'm going to go ahead and grab like a stack of Certus quartz. Okay, so Certus quartz, and then our 3 stacks of iron. There we go. And let's actually spread these out a little bit. There we go. It's going to start really chugging through and making a lot of our quartz enriched iron for us. There's plenty to get us started right here. Nearly 2 stacks of the stuff. So let's pop back over here and let's go ahead and make our controller. So we're going to need a shulker pearl. We're also going to need 3 silicon and then a piece of stone is all. It's really cheap. Surprisingly. Like, that's my thing. Like, I enjoyed this pack and everything, but I feel like the recipes after, like, Age 2, I don't know, they weren't really, like, customized too much. I mean, that's pretty cheap. Like, it seems like Age 4, you go to the end, and then you have, like, everything you need. Like, we're reaching that point where resources don't really matter too much. Alright, so we're going to set that right there. It's going to start pulling a little bit of the energy. It's going to take quite a bit at first, because it has to fill up this buffer. But even with a fairly expansive refined storage system, especially with it being Age 4 and us only having like external storage, upgrades, and cable, and there's like no auto-crafting or anything, it's going to be hard to actually use a whole lot of RF per tick. Right now it's not using anything at the moment. Okay, it's been a little bit since I cut. It's been, I don't know, 10-15 minutes. I went ahead and crafted up some quartz glass, fluix dust. I also have 64 printed logic circuits, 65 printed silicon, about to make a bunch of logic processors. But I got to looking, it's funny because the crafting grid requires the engineering processor, and the printed engineering circuit requires either a diamond, which we're not supposed to have at this point, or a heavy-duty plate. So I think you're supposed to actually have to get into Galacticraft before you can get your crafting grid, but we have diamonds. So let's go ahead and just pop that in there with our engineering press, and presto, we are going to have our engineering processor. Easy as pie. We'll go ahead and grab that. We'll throw them in there. Piece of redstone and get that running. And then I'm going to go ahead and set up this to make 64 logic processors. Because I figure, I mean, yeah, we need some logic processors, but it didn't take no time at all just to make these manual. Even without speed upgrades, it really didn't take that long. So, I don't know if we'll worry about automating them or just run it like that. I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, I got the stuff together. I mean, quartz glass we've made before. Luminescence we've made. Logic processors. Machine casings. I need to make one of those, in fact. So there's our machine casing. And then we're going to need a formation and annihilation core. Basically, logic processor, fluix dust, and nether quartz. Logic processor, fluix dust, and charged Certus quartz. Or can we use regular Certus quartz, or does it have to be charged? Yeah, we can use regular. Okay. That's standard recipe then. There's a lot of standard recipe in Age 4. So I'm going to go ahead and get 10 Certus quartz, and I'm going to get 10 nether quartz, because I want to make, these do make 2 at a time, but I'd like to go ahead and make a few of these because, I need my logic processors. Alright, so, formation cores, there we go, there's 20 of those. Annihilation cores, there we go, there is, I'm out of logic processors. Annihilation core, there we go, there's 20 of those. Okay. Wonderful. And then we can get, I know my inventory's getting full, we're about to use some of this stuff up. Okay, and now we can get our grid. So, there we go, and advancement, refined storage. And we're going to take it a step further. We're going to go ahead and make our crafting grid. Bam. There we go. And, okay. Now everything is beautiful. Everything is quite wonderful now. I'm going to put this, I'm going to put this fluix dust and this quartz glass and stuff. We'll end up using this stuff. We're actually probably going to use a bit of it here in just a minute. But for right now. I'm just going to put this stuff in here. This will kind of be our refined storage chest. And then our crafting grid, right now we're just going to set it, let me go ahead and make some cables actually. So these are chests, redstone, and quartz enriched iron. So let's go ahead and get, I'm going to get a few of these in fact. So there we go, there's quite a bit of them. That'll be good. And we'll go ahead and just attach a cable down. We're almost done because I know it's wrapping up point, but we're just about done. Crafting grid setting right there, and of course right now we don't have anything in this. So let's go ahead and make ourselves some external storage. I figured, like, I was looking at the time, I was like, well, it's about wrapping up point, but like, let's just push on and get this stuff plugged up because it's literally like we're right here at the moment. Okay, so external storages. Oh yeah, we need logic processors. Go ahead and grab those. External storage, I want 4 of these at the moment. And I will say that right now we're going to have to run this kind of just through the floor. Once we hit age 5, we'll be able to clean it up. But for right now, it's just going to have to go through the floor, and that's just how it's going to have to be. So just a heads up, it's not going to stay this way, but for right now it is going to be this way. So let's pop down to extra storage. And we're going to put our external storages right on the sides of these drawer controllers. And then we're just going to bring it up right through here and just bring our cables down like this. And I'm going to do this for all 4 of our drawer controllers. And then we'll go up to the next floor and we're just going to bring this up again. Just straight up right through the floor. And like I said, I mean, this is going to be short term until we hit age 5 basically, and then we'll be able to basically run this through a bit better. But for right now we'll have to do this. And you know, it's funny because I would have thought, like, whenever I first started this pack and I've discovered that refined storage and AE2 and stuff was so late in the pack, I thought by the time I got to refined storage and AE2 I was going to be like super excited to get it and be like, oh my gosh, like so happy to have it. I actually am kind of just indifferent to it. Because I've gotten so used to, in this pack, you know, having everything kind of sorted. I mean, some of my stuff's a little bit of a mess. But in truth, I mean, this doesn't help all that much. I mean, what I'll probably do is add some chests up there and add, like, miscellaneous junk into those chests with, like, external storages. Just doing it off camera because it's basically the same thing. External storage, if you're not familiar with it, external storage basically connects up your RS system, which is like your sorting system. It connects it into that block. So whatever's stored in that block you can access through the refined storage system. But in truth, I've gotten so comfortable with this storage building and like the way everything's laid out and stuff that I'm honestly just kind of indifferent. I'm just kind of like, okay, we got refined storage. I mean, it's cool and it's going to be useful and it'll probably save me, you know, a couple seconds crafting things, especially with the crafting grid. I think if it was just the storage grid, I wouldn't be as excited, but anyways, we're going to run this over. We're going to plug it all up into our controller. We are currently using basically 8 RF a tick. So it's very, very minimal amount of RF usage going on here. And where are we at on these? Okay, 31. Okay, they're all done. All the logic processors are. Okay, so if we take a look inside of our crafting grid, there we go. All of our items are in here and they are all accessible. And I can add and remove items through this. Now, if something doesn't have a slot in a drawer, like for example this andesite Celtic doesn't have a slot in the drawer, so I can't dump it in there. But for example, if I had, you know, slime balls and I was using these and then I placed them back in there, they're going to go back in there because there's a slot for slime balls. So, and then like I said, I can put like some obsidian chests up here with external storage plugged into them and just dump all my miscellaneous junk into those, and there we go, you know. It'll be all situated. And then, let's see, I don't think, since we don't have access to upgrades at the moment, I mean, there's the network card and stuff, but there's not a whole lot of access to upgrades at the moment. I don't think we can have this filtered on... Yeah, I don't think we can filter this with just the options here. I don't think we can filter it. We can't have it checked to say, like, just use the items that are within the inventory, like, just deposit those things into there. Otherwise, I was going to say if we could, but I think it's an upgrade card, if I recall, for refined storage. I would plug all this stuff up, but not yet, since we can't have it just like read what's already in the inventory. But that's fine. Honestly, I don't even know if long-term if we'll even use the sorting floor or if we'll just upgrade to cards. Because by the time we hit H5, we might just dump it all in there and have that floor down there for, I don't know, something. I don't know, dragon heads or something. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But anyways, we have our fine storage, which is kind of nifty. I mean, like I said, I'm just kind of like, yeah, but at least it gives me a place to access everything and I can craft from here, which is kind of handy. I don't have to run around to all the drawers anymore for like basic crafting, so. My metals, of course, aren't plugged up into here because they're over in the castle, but what can you do? We don't have the long distance transfer for refined storage yet, so. I swear, whenever you build big, you suffer. With things like that, you suffer. If you don't have it all like in one little area, so. But anyways, I know it's wrapping up point for this episode, so I am going to end it out here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have any questions or anything, do let me know, and I'll do my best to get those answered for you. Next episode, we're gonna, I don't know, push on. We'll probably start working into the Ender alloys. We might start getting into modular routers. We might start getting into Ender utilities. And then we might also, I don't know, maybe get into cooking for blockheads. I don't know for sure. I'm not 100% sure. I mean, Galacticraft is right there. The main mods that come to mind that I want to hit, of course, we're going to use modular routers, you know. We're going to use Ender utilities. We're going to finish up some Pneumaticraft stuff. Also, there's Industrial 4 going. We'll probably start hitting that soon. There's actually quite a bit in this age, I think, before we will really start pushing into Galacticraft. That's not to say we might not start Galacticraft, start making the plates and stuff like that. But as far as really tackling Galacticraft, it'll be a little bit. Because I know this age ends pretty much when you make a rocket and you land on the moon. Is the end of age 4, when you move into age 5. So, but anyways, I don't know. We'll see where the path takes us next episode. So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already to stay updated with when new videos come out. I hope to see you guys next time. Until then, as always, do take care, stay safe. I'll see you guys next time.